Okay, good evening, everyone. Reb Skolnick, do we have an update? Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. So we're going to continue learning for Sarah Fega Baslei Achaya. She should have a full recovery and a lifting 11. It's funny, sometimes you see that the Rebbeinu Shalom has a sense of humor. I wasn't feeling well the last 24 hours, so when I sat down to prepare the Mishna Yomis, I said, okay, let's get a good, easy Mishna Yomis. And it was a little funny. Basically, what's going to happen in the next two Mishnayos, which is going to be a whole parak, it's very interesting. We're learning a whole parak today. The two Mishnayos is the 8th parak of Masechtas Nazir. Basically, what we're going to be doing over here is we're going to be discussing a situation where the Nazir doesn't know if he was Tameh. And that causes a big problem. Because if he's Tameh, he can't continue his Nazir's Tara until he does the shaves and brings his karbanos for the Nazirus of Tameh. On the other hand, if he's not Tameh, then he has to do his Nazirus Tara, and how does he deal with the possibility that he was Tameh? So here the Mishnah starts off where we're going to need two volunteers now. So Chaim just came in, so he's a good volunteer. So we'll use Chaim and Rich, right? Rich, two volunteers. So Shnei Nazirim, there's two Nazirs, both Chaim and Rich. They're very, very pious people, and they were both a Nazir. She'amalan echad, that Reb Kedar said, you know what? I saw one of you became Tameh. He's a real troublemaker. He saw one of them become Tameh, but he doesn't know which one. Va'isi echad mikem shenitma. I saw one of you become Tameh, but ve'eni yedea ez mikem. But I don't know which one of the two of you. Can't believe, I'm sitting here and I'm chatting. Okay. Anyway, I should mention the dedications. So we're dedicated by the Fisher family, the Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shalom ben Abraham Alevi Perel Bas Ruvain. Also, Lili Nishmas El Chanabun ben Naftali Benish El Melech ben Eliezer Lefur Shalem Efel Yomis Mechayisar Schus of Abraham ben Yom Benish ben Malki Hudis by your Kugman and family, Lefur Shalem for my mother Esther Fala Bas Chana and Meir ben Chayisar. So again, Rich and Chaim, they're both Nazirim, and regular Naziris, Stam Naziris Shloshim Yom, regular Naziris of 30 days, and Reb Kedar says that I saw one of you become Tameh. I don't know which one of you. Shnei Nazirim Shamalem Echad, two Nazirim that Reb Kedar says, Re'isi Echad Mikem Shenitma, I saw one of you became Tameh, Ve'eni Yodea Eze Mikem. I don't know which one of you became Tameh. So, we're going to make them both shave in case they were Tameh. But they can't shave right away because one of them is tar and he can't shave until 30 days. So, we make them both wait till their term is over, 30 days, and then Migalchin. Because Mamanav Shach, the one that's Tameh, has to shave because he's Tameh. And that's part of the procedure when you become Tameh, you got to shave. So, and the one that's finished shaves because he's finished. So Megalchin, and now they bring two sets of karbanos. Now, of course, one of them has to bring, one of them is Tameh, so he has to bring an Oshim, and two bird offerings, one for an Oila and one for a Chattas. So Maviyim Carbon Tuma v'Carbon Tara. They bring two sets of karbanos. One set of carbon tuma, an ashim, and a bird offering of a chatas, a bird offering of an ayla, and then they bring also a set of karbanos for naziris tatara, and that's an ayla, chatas, and a shlam. The aimer, and they declare, Imani hu atame. Rich says, if I was the one that became tameh, then carbon tuma shali, then the ashim and the two birds is mine. The carbon tara shalach, and the carbon tara, the chatas, ayla, and the shlamim is chaim's. However, the imaniu atar, Rich says, if I'm the one that's tar, carbon tara shali, the carbon tara is mine, the chatas, ayla, and the shlamim. The carbon tuma shalach, and the carbon tuma is yours. And then we're not finished yet, because whichever one was tameh has to count another 30 days, right? Because now that he's tameh, he lost his days, and he counts another 30 days. They both, therefore, have to count 30 days, because we don't know which one was tameh. The Seifim Shloshim Yom, they both count another 30 days, and then Umavim Carbon Tara. Then they bring one more set of Chatas, Oyla, and Shlamim. The Aimer, and again, Rich makes a declaration. Imani hu atame, if I was the one that was tameh, so now this is my carbon naziris tatara. Carbon tumashali, the original 30 days ago, the ashim and the two bird offerings were mine. The carbon tara shalach, and then before Chaim it was your carbon tara, and now that I'm finished my naziris tatara, bezeh carbon tarasi, and this is my carbon. V'imani hu atar, if however I'm the one that was tar, then carbon tara shali, the original carbon tara was mine. The carbon tuma shalah, the ashim and the two bird offerings were yours. V'zeh carbon tara ascha, and this is your carbon tara. Okay, but now let's say it wasn't rich in Chaim. Let's say it was rich in Chatzkel. Kedah saw rich and Chatzkel, one of them became tameh. And now Chatzkel dies. Chatzkel dies. What's Rich supposed to do? Can't make it tonight with somebody now, right? Now maybe it was Chatzkel that became tameh, and Rich never became tameh. But maybe Rich did become tameh. So what does he do? Now you can't bring an oshim misafik. What do you do? So we're going to see of the three karbanos that somebody that's tameh brings, the ashim and the two bird offerings, there is an allowance to bring a chatas ha'oif misafik, a chatas ha'oif in doubt, and that's what Rich is going to do. But what does he do? He brings his carbon tara right away, but maybe you don't need the carbon tara right away because maybe he's tameh. How does he bring it? So what he does is he looks for a goody-goody. He looks for somebody to come and join him. So he finds Chaim Rosen. Chaim Rosen, a goody-goody. He says, Chaim, I need you to participate. I need you to adopt the Naziris, and you're going to have to not be able to do your termination until 60 days. It's one Naziris, but you're going to have to wait 60 days. So Rich has to have a good friend. But he has a good friend, Chaim. So says the Gemara, if Chatzkel died, Amar Rabbi Yeshua, Yevakesh echad min hashuk. He should look for somebody in the market, sheyidor kenegdoi benazir, that he'll also adopt the Naziris, v'omer. And now Rich says, makes his declaration. Im tameh hayisi, if I was tameh, this is after 30 days. Im tameh hayisi, if I was the one that was tameh, then hari ata nazir miyad. Then you, Chaim, you're a nazir immediately, because you're the carbon that we're going to bring now for Tara is yours. So im tameh hayisi hari ata nazir miyad. V'im Torah yisi, but if I was tar, then Ariata Nazir Achar Shloshim Yom. Then you're a Nazir first after 30 days. The Seifin Shloshim Yom. So first they count 30 days. Or Mavian carbon tuma, but carbon tar. They bring a carbon tuma now, not a full carbon tuma, Since rich, in this case, maybe it was Chatzkel that became Tamei. Chatzkel's dead. So you can't bring a carbon tumah bavadai. And since it's Mesafik, you can't bring the Asham, because an Asham is an obligatory animal which you can't bring Mesafik. So therefore, and there is a machloikis in the Rishonim if he brings the Ayla, the bird offering an Ayla with a Tanai, that if he's a Nazir Tamei, then it's a Chai Chiyav. If it's a Nazir Tamei, it's a Nadava. That's a machloikis. But he brings the Chatas Ha'oif Mesafik, and they bring one carbon tara, the Chatas Ayla and the Shlamim. The Aymer, Rich says, Imani Tamei, if it was me who was Tamei, not the late lamented Chatzkel, so carbon tumah shali, the Chatas Ha'oif is mine. The carbon tara is shalach, and then the Chatas Ayla and Shlamim for tara is Chaim's. The Imani Atar, if I was tar, then carbon tara shali, this is my carbon tara. The carbon tumah besafik, and the carbon tumah was brought just besafik, and it wasn't needed. The Seifrim Shloshim Yom, they count another 30 days, or Mavim carbon tara. The Amen Rich says, Imani Tamei, if it was I who was Tamei, then carbon tumah shali, the carbon tumah was mine. The carbon tara shalach, and the original Chatas Ayla and Shlomo was Chaim's. The zeh carbon tarasi, and the carbon tara that we're bringing now after the 60th day is mine. V'maniu atar, if I was tar, then carbon tara shali, the first carbon tara was mine. The carbon tumah besafik, v'zeh carbon tarascha. So Ben Zaymer says not everybody has a good friend like Chaim, that he'll be willing to not only adopt a Naziris, but instead of keeping 30 days for a Naziris, he has to keep 60 days. So Amalei Ben Zaymer Umishay Me'alai, who is going to listen to him? Sheyidor Kenegdai Ben Nazir. Who's going to listen to him to do this? Rather, there is another way that Rich could do it by himself. What does he do? Ela maybe what he does is he keeps 30 days. And then after 30 days, he says, Ela maybe chatas ha'oif v'oilas behema. What he does is he plays it safe. He keeps 30 days, and he says, and he brings the chatas ha'oif mesafik, in case he was tamei, and he brings one of the karbanos of the 3 that he would be chayiv if he was tar. Because remember, we learned in Gilach al Achas Mishloshtam, if you shave on even one of the karbanos, it's enough. So therefore, after 30 days, he brings a chatas ha'oif, and he brings an oilas behema, the Aimer. And he says, Im tamei ha'yisi, if I was the one that was tamei, not Chatzkel who died, I was the one that was tamei. Ha-chatas meichai basi. The chatas is my for my carbon tumah. The oila that I bring is an oilas nadava, is a free will offering. The oila nadava. The im Torah yisi, if Reb Kedus saw Chatzkel become tamei, and I'm the tar, so then ha oila mechavasi. The oil is part of my 3 karbanos, because if you shave even with 1, it's enough. And the chatas I don't need to bring, it's a chatas mesafik, the chatas mesafik. And then he counts another 30 days. Besides for shloshim yom, or maybe carbon tara. And then he brings the full shebang, the three karbanos, the oil and the chatas and the shlamim of tara. V'aymer im tamei ha'yisi, if I was tamei, so then ha'ila rishayna nedava, the first oila that I brought was a nedava, and the carbon chatas that I brought, the bird offering of the chatas was necessary because I'm tamei, and now this is my full carbon of naziris, v'zu chayva. The im tar ha'yisi, if I was tar, so now I'm bringing my karbonos piecemeal. The first oila that I brought was an oilas chayva that allowed me to shave. And the chatas and the shlamim are the rest of my karbonos. And this second oila is an oilas nadava. Ha'oila rishayna chayva, v'zu nadava, this oila is a nadava. V'zeh shar karboni. And this is the rest of my karbonos, the shlamim and the chatas. Amar Rabbi Yeshua, why doesn't Rabbi Yeshua like this? I mean, why do we have to make Chaim do 60 days? Why doesn't he like this? Rabbi Yeshua says because it comes out that Rich might be bringing his offerings piecemeal. Because if he was never Tameh, so then he brought his Oila first, and then 30 days later he brought the Chatas and the Shlamin. Says Rabbi Yeshua, Nimtza zeh maybe Karbonos of Lechatzayin. He brings his Karbonos piecemeal. However, says the Mishna, Aval Haidu Loi Chacham Ben Zayma, the Chacham admitted to Ben Zayma that this is a good way to do it. Okay, so that's the easy Mishnah. So now, sometimes, this is the idea of finishing Shas with Mishnah Yomis is doing 2 Mishnayos a day, not missing Ritzufim, and doing it whether it's easy or it's hard. That's the way you finish Shas. It's the beauty of it. Now, a Mitzayra. We're going to complicate matters over here. We're not going to use Rich now because he's not in the mood of tzaras. He has his own problems, right? So we'll take Chatzkel anyway. We're Mechayim Meisim on Chatzkel, so we'll take Chatzkel. Now, Chatzkel is extremely confused. He's a Nazir. He's not sure if he became Tameh. He's also not sure if he's a Mitzayra. Now this is a big deal. He's a Mitzayra Misafik. Now we're not going to go into the Heikatimtza of how you're Mitzayra, but enough is to say that Chatzkel is a Nazir, he might be Tameh, and he might be a Mitzayra. The problem with a Mitzayra is in the Mitzayra purification ceremony, he has to do 2 full body shavings. Not just the head, but 2 full body shavings. What happens is they bring 2 birds, they shecht 1 bird, and the blood goes into a bowl with spring water, and then they dip the other bird into it and they spray him with it, and he does a first body shaving, full body shaving, and then he waits 7 days and they do another body shaving. So here we got a big problem because he can't shave. Normally the shaving of a Mitzayra would supersede Naziris, but that's only if he's a Vadai Nazir. But he's a Suffolk Nazir. And since he's a Suffolk Nazir, it doesn't push away Naziris. Because maybe he's not, I'm sorry, it's only if he's a Vadi Mitzayra. If he's a Suffolk Mitzayra, it doesn't push away the Naziris. So listen to what Chatzkel has to do. Remember, he might be Tameh too. So the first thing he has to do is he counts 30 days. Once he counts 30 days, so he's at least eligible to shave in case he's a Nazir Tameh. If he's not a Nazir Tameh, then he could shave because he's a Nazir Tar. So since after 30 days he could shave, instead of shaving just his head, he does a full body shaving. So in case he's a Mitzayra, he gets the first shaving of the Mitzayra. But now what does he do? No, maybe he was Tameh. So now he has to keep his 30 days of Naziris Tatara because he can't do the second shaving because maybe he wasn't a Mitzayra. So then he keeps another 30 days. And then, so if he was a Nazir Tameh, so now he could shave as a Nazir Tara. And if he's a Mitzayra, now he does his second full body shaving. Now once he does that, so now he's allowed to enter the mikdash and eat kosher because he took care of his Naziris. So he took care of his Nazir. He took care of tzaras after 60 days. But he didn't take care. He can't drink wine and be metamel mason because if he's a Mitzayra, so then he didn't do anything yet with his Naziris. Then he has to keep another 30 days in case he was a Nazir Tameh. Shave, and then another 30 days for his Nazirus Tatara. So he could eat kachim and enter the mikdash after 60 days. He could drink wine and be metamel amesim after 120 days. So now let's see that inside the Mishnah. So this was what was funny when I looked at these Mishnayos. I said, I'm not feeling so well. Let's get 2 easy Mishnayos, right? And in the Daf Yomi we're just learning Ezel Neshech. So anyway. So when I said it over to my Rebbetzin, she said, no, in this course you have to get better fast. So Baruch Hashem, I'm down here. Last night, we said last night I threw up in middle of the Daf Yomi on a live camera for TorahAnytime.com. It was really, it's like should go into the Guinness World Book of Records, but anyway, so Nazir Shaya Tomei B'Safik, Chatzkel might be Tomei, Muchlat B'Safik, and he might be a definite Mitzayra. Muchlat means a confirmed Mitzayra. So Eichel B'Kachim Achar Shishim Yom, he could eat Kachim after 60 days, because after 60 days he's done his 2 full body shavings. V'Shoyse Yayin U'Metamel Amesim, but he could drink wine and contaminate to the dead. Achar Me'av Esim Yom, only after 120 days. Now, I don't understand. Why can't he shave right away, the first body shaving, and then 7 days later another body shaving? Because the shaving of a Mitzayra is Doicha Naziris. That's only if it was a definite Saras. Shetiglachas HaNeged Doicha Tiglachas HaNazir, it supersedes the ban of shaving by a Nazir, Bizman Shivadai, only if it's definite. But since we're not sure, Aval Bizman Suffolk ain't a Daicha, it doesn't supersede. Therefore, he has to wait 60 days in order to do the 2 body shavings of the Mitzayra. And then he does another 30 days in case he was a Tameh. And then another 30 days to finish his Nazirus Tatara, which gives us 60 for the conclusion of his Saras, and 120 to be able to drink wine and be Metamed L'Mesim. B'chanani ben Akasha Amar Ratzak